Product-led growth is no longer a scrappy startup tactic. Today, it is the default go-to-market model for the majority of B2B SaaS companies. To power this model, founders build the exact same infrastructure, setting up a free tier, a welcome email sequence, and dropping an upgrade prompt inside the app. You turn it on, and it starts pumping users into the product automatically, without hiring a sales team. But while this machine looks highly efficient on the surface, it is almost always operating entirely on blind assumptions. It creates the illusion of a functioning growth engine without actually being one. Here is the reality check. 2 out of 3 companies running this exact system have no reliable way of knowing if their free users are actually experiencing any value. They invest in the acquisition pipeline, but they completely skip building the feedback loop. The immediate consequence of this open-loop system is the freeloader problem. A massive segment of your users will sign up, conceal your server infrastructure, and occasionally tie up your support desk, all while contributing exactly 0 revenue. Without a deliberate design that forces a decision or captures value, these unmonitored systems languish. On average, free-to-paid conversion across open product-led models sits at a dismal 9%. A freemium model without a data feedback loop operates as a donation. Your infrastructure supports a user base with no structural reason to pay. It is easy to see why this happens. Designing a flashy new onboarding flow or shipping a freemium plan feels like real progress. You can screenshot it, you can put it in a changelog. Sitting down to measure how users behave, on the other hand, is completely invisible work. But that invisible work is exactly what you need to close the system loop. The specific mechanism for this is called activation tracking. Activation tracking means identifying the 1 or 2 specific actions a new user must take inside your product during their first week that reliably predict whether they will eventually pay for it. Because this specific action predicts who will stick around and who will leave, it sets the upper limit for your potential revenue. Top-performing PLG teams reach for a benchmark of 40 to 60%, ensuring the majority of their signups actually experience the product's value. Until you can articulate exactly what an activated user looks like in your own product, every new feature or onboarding step you build is just a blind guess. Fixing this disconnect does not require hiring a data scientist or buying expensive new analytics software. You can close the loop right now using the tools you already have in 3 steps. Step 1. Define the specific event. Look at your current happiest paying customers and find the exact action they all took during week 1 that your churning users skipped. That specific pattern is your activation event. Step 2 is to pull your real baseline rate. Stop estimating. Go into your data from the last 60 days and calculate the exact percentage of new signups that actually hit that specific event. Step 3 requires looking closely at your upgrade prompt. Ask yourself honestly, has the user achieved a meaningful win in the software before you ask them for their credit card? The most frequent structural error in early-stage products is impatience. Founders place the paywall far too early in the flow, well before the user has seen enough value to care. The fix is to physically move your upgrade prompt. Take it out of the early flow and position it immediately after the user completes your newly defined activation event. By aligning the moment you ask for money with the exact moment the user experiences real value, you physically close the feedback loop. Your static product finally becomes a responsive growth engine. With the loop closed, your activation data continuously feeds back from the end user into your weekly decision-making process. You finally have a real number to watch. A product-led strategy stalls when it is treated as a one-time setup task. Growth only compounds when that initial setup evolves into a consistent weekly data habit. Think about your visible infrastructure, your pricing tiers, your UI design, your onboarding emails. Any competitor can sign up for an account today and clone all of those elements by tomorrow. The true competitive moat is the accumulated knowledge of exactly where your specific users get stuck. You only build that knowledge through months of watching your unique activation metric and obsessively smoothing out the friction points. Sustainable growth rests on a simple foundation: 1 defined event, 1 real number, and the weekly discipline to investigate why that number changed.